Sonic has been around for a long time. Nowadays he's celebrated as an icon that can never truly change from his characteristics. If they wanted to change Sonic, it was done through alternate universes such as splitting Classic Sonic from Modern Sonic, which would make him from a different dimension. Let's also not forget the infamous Two Worlds ideal, where Sonic Team head Iizuka stated that Sonic games take place in two worlds, one with humans and one without them. The splitting into alternate universes can even go a step further, giving us separate canons such as Sonic Boom and Sonic SatAM. With that being said, it's safe to say that SEGA wants Sonic to be timeless, an icon who's been around for nearly 30 years but still happens to be 15 years old, even after having a birthday party in Sonic Generations. You know what they say, we don't die, we multiply. However, while this may be the case for the main series, there's one universe where we get to see Sonic's origins, from childhood to adulthood, and in some scenarios, death. That series is none other than the Sonic the Hedgehog comics by Archie. These comics are based on the Sonic SatAM show, and they expanded so much that they were able to cover some of the video game stories as well, including Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2, Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic 2006, and Sonic Unleashed. With this progression, while some characters have passed away, others were able to reach adulthood and even starting families. Today we're going to go over Sonic's family tree. So, where do we start? Well, here's a shocker. Sonic's name isn't originally Sonic, it's Ogilvy Maurice Hedgehog. I know some of you probably think that I'm sounding delusional, but keep in mind that this is based on the Archie Sonic series. Many people consider it non-canon, and I think that's a little too harsh to say. I would consider it a separate canon, just like Boom Sonic is a separate canon. The funny thing is that there's some evidence to Archie Sonic actually being canon to the game universe, but that's a topic for another day. Anyway, Sonic's name used to be Ogilvy Maurice Hedgehog, but he legally changed it to Sonic later. I'm sure you guys have a good idea on who Sonic is. He saved the world multiple times and traveled to several different places and made friends along the way. He's the fastest thing alive. We'll go more into detail about Sonic and his own family and children, but let's go upwards on the family tree. Sonic's father is named Jules Hedgehog. Jules is a war veteran, one of the soldiers in what is known as the Great War. Now, the Great War was pretty much a battle between Mobians and Overlanders. Mobians are the anthropomorphic civilians of the world, and Overlanders are descendants of humans. Dr. Robotnik was also an Overlander, but he was going to be sent to prison for his inhumane experiments. While running away, Jules and his brother Charles found him and brought him to their kingdom. From there, Robotnik gained the trust of the king, but he ended up betraying them and taking over the kingdom. This is the plot of the Sonic SatAM animated series. It's crazy to see how Sonic's father had an impact on Robotnik's rise to power. But his brother definitely had a greater impact, with his creation being used to try and control the world. Meet Sir Charles, Jules' brother and Sonic's uncle, who he likes to call Uncle Chuck. So you know how in the games Dr. Eggman can turn animals into robots? That process is known as roboticization, and it turns out that Charles was the one who created it. There was a time where Jules got shot in the head during the war, and it left him in critical condition. In order to try and save him, Charles created the Roboticizer, a machine that would robotically heal someone. While the machine worked on Jules, it had a side effect. He was now a robot instead of flesh and blood. Now, Robotnik didn't necessarily steal the Roboticizer. Charles actually ended up giving it to him. Remember, at the time, Charles and Jules trusted Robotnik, so due to his failed attempts, Charles decided to hand his invention over to him, and this was a grave mistake. Robotnik would go on to roboticize Charles too, but if it helps lighten the mood a little bit, Charles ran a chili dog restaurant called Uncle Chuck's Diner, and that's where Sonic gets his love for chili dogs now. Charles never married, but his brother Jules did, marrying a female hedgehog named Bernadette, Sonic's mother. Bernadette, or Bernie, was also a war veteran from the Great War. She was one of the guides leading the soldiers in the sewer bunkers while the Overlanders attacked from above. She married Jules and gave birth to the Sonic we all know and love. Bernie was also roboticized, but it was by accident, when she was investigating on Robotnik's use of the Roboticizer. That means literally all of Sonic's family ended up roboticized at one point. However, later on the alien race called the BEM reversed everyone in the world who was roboticized, including all of the family members, all except Jules, whose injuries were too grave to be de-roboticized. Basically, if he were reverted back to a hedgehog, he would die. Alright, that's pretty much all we know about Sonic's extended family. Now we can take a look at Sonic's own family, starting from his wife, Sally Acorn. Now, I know there are several Sonic and Amy shippers who might not be fine with this outcome, But I'd like to remind you all that Sally is a character almost as old as Sonic himself, going as far back as 1993, 2 years from the first Sonic game. The funny thing is that Sonic SatAM aired in the same month and year that Sonic CD came out, the game Amy was introduced in. Therefore, you have to understand why Sally would be paired with Sonic, at least in the American series. Regardless, I noticed that many newer Sonic fans didn't even know that Sally existed, so I'm going to give a brief overview. Sonia Acorn is a part squirrel, part chipmunk. She's the queen of the kingdom of Acorn, which would therefore make Sonic the king. She knew Sonic since childhood and was part of the group named the Freedom Fighters, fighting against Dr.Eggman. Sally has her own extended family, but for this video we're just going to focus on Sonic. Sonic and Sally have a daughter named Sonia Acorn, and she's the princess of the kingdom of Acorn. She got Sonic's speed handed down to her, making her super fast. She's a member of the future Freedom Fighters, who are pretty much the next generation of Freedom Fighters. This group was formed due to the takeover of the Dark Presence, which is a terrorist group named by an echidna named Leonda. Sonic also has a son named Manik Acorn, the prince of the kingdom of Acorn. He's a member of the future Freedom Fighters as well. They both were involved in a fight with an entity named T-Chaos, a fusion between T-Cal and Chaos. As a matter of fact, they ended up laying down the final blow. T-Chaos is another being that we can talk about in a different video. Fun fact, Sonia and Manik get their names from characters of the TV series called Sonic Underground. These two characters in that show were Sonic's brother and sister. There's also some evidence to suggest that Sonic Underground is canon to Archie Sonic's world, but like I keep on saying, that's a story for another time. And yeah, that's pretty much the entire Sonic family tree. Next time we're going to go over Tails' family tree, and that should be pretty interesting. I hope you guys learned something new, and if you want to learn more about the Archie Sonic series, make sure to check out my Sonic discussion playlist. Until then, be cool, be wild, and be groovy.